Is it possible to have a brush with death and come out energized, rejuvenated, and ready to live life? Midlife crisis looks different from person to person. For some, it's an inexplicable emotional roller coaster that can send anyone above a certain age into a descending spiral of despair. For me, my midlife crisis came in the form of cancer. Strangely enough, though, despite the painful physical and emotional toll, it has surprisingly initiated some positive changes in my life. Allow me to explain. Arguably, any sudden or dramatic life event can be transformative. Not always in a positive way, but transformative nonetheless. However, as human beings, we are innately programmed to embrace the familiar, avoid high risks, and secure contentment. This, we're assured by many, is the means of living a happy life. But what if we can learn to embrace doubt, accept shortcomings, and ease into the shadow part of life to create a deeper meaning for ourselves and others? Finding meaning in suffering. Life is hard. It can be unfamiliar, unfair. Sometimes terrible things can happen. It is simply the acceptance of these facts that allow us to face difficult situations and muster the strength to overcome them. When crises occur, it's understandable to find ourselves in a pit of despair, to feel hopeless and lost. Critical periods in our lives can often cause us to think only of ourselves, how we're affected, what we will do to survive. But it's important to remember that, as callous as it may sound, many people have gone through similar, if not worse, situations, and the best thing to do is to grab hold of any shred of hope or semblance of self-belief that we can spare, and know that, as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus advocated in The Art of Living, his discourse on virtue and happiness, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Our convictions, attitudes, intentions, and actions are truly ours in a way that nothing else is. Events and people may be out of our sphere of control, but it's in the way that we determine our attitude and responses that can ultimately lead to less suffering. Meeting and knowing yourself. Our identities are not static, and as milestones like middle age confront us, we are faced with wistful nostalgia, even some regret for our lost youth, questions about who we are, and anxieties about who we will become in the future. I suppose what makes middle age a crisis for many is the realization that you are stranded between the excitement, beauty, and naive possibilities of your 20s, and yet still decades far from the respected wisdom of old age. In your 30s and 40s, you have the advantages of acquired confidence and some level of expertise in living life, but with a little less opportunity and energy to hustle. It's the paradox of personhood. The best solution to avert any current or imminent existential crisis is self-reflection. Reflection can take many forms, from meditation, yoga, and hiking, but the most popular, and I would argue the most effective, is journaling. Making time for journaling, according to New York's University of Rochester Medical Center, significantly contributes to mental wellness, as it helps us deal with any overwhelming emotion and find a healthy way to express ourselves. It helps us create order when the world feels like it's in chaos. You get to know yourself by revealing the most private fears, thoughts, and feelings. It doesn't need to be a Dear Diary routine to be effective. The beauty of the internet is that you can find a journal to suit your interest and purpose, whether it be a gratitude journal, a habit tracking journal, an art journal, or a commonplace book. The choice is truly yours. Just as our life circumstances change, so too our values, wants, and needs. It is therefore a universal truth that as we adjust to meeting the demands of the world, we must also make the time and effort to take stock of who we were, who we are now, and who we wish to become, because the better we know ourselves, the better we're able to navigate and participate in the world around us. Embracing changes and the art of letting go. Aside from death and taxes, the only other thing that is certain is change. As we navigate our daily lives on this floating rock held together by gravity and other forces beyond our understanding, we are confronted with the need to feel secure and certain about our place in our little world. When our expectations and needs are threatened, it can cause us deep fear and even pain. That's when someone, possibly someone well-versed in the art of self-help, will casually tell us to let it go, to which we respond with annoyance and maybe even a slight urge to push them off the nearest cliff. However, there is some grain of truth behind the art of letting go. Whether it's letting go of emotions, people, situation, ideas, or things that hinder our growth, development, or well-being, embracing change is necessary for us to shift our attitude about what would bring us joy, serenity, and contentment in life. According to the tenets of Buddhism, attachment comes in many forms, including attachment to people, possessions, ideas, and even our identity. Depending on the attachment type, it can bring us joy and happiness, or it can cause us to suffer. In despair, you may ask, so should I even bother caring about anything at all? Well, the simple answer is yes. Learning to accept that everything in life is temporary can give us a sense of appreciation of what we have. Understanding that we only have it for a limited time can help us treasure things in our life, rather than desire things we don't have. The power of changing our mental processes in order to alleviate emotional discomfort and developing our ability to embrace change can be a challenging journey we must undertake. The criteria for happiness. Memento mori, memento vivere. Remember you will die, so remember to live. Have you ever felt that as you get older, time goes faster? You're not alone. There are a few inconclusive theories about this phenomenon, but regardless of the findings, thinking about death or mortality is hardly a fun way to spend your time, but it is absolutely necessary. The Daily Stoic's Ryan Holiday investigates the history of memento mori. He declares that the one perennial truth, rich or not, successful or not, religious, philosophical, it doesn't matter. You will die. From the beginning of time to the end, death is the one universal, inescapable commonality. This fixation on mortality is not meant to depress, but rather the Stoics use this vivid notion of death to inspire, motivate, and clarify, to inspire us to pursue balance and purpose, to seek knowledge and virtue, to find our own meaningful means of expression, to enjoy time with our family and friends, and to express gratitude for the days we've been given to exist on this floating rock 146.7 million kilometers from the sun. Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." As time passes, there'll be moments when it seems to go by really slowly. But before you know it, you're looking back wistfully and asking yourself, where has all that time gone? They say life begins at 40, but life begins anytime you so choose. Like a tree that has lived through the sun, rain, and even drought, we must try our best to thrive where we are planted. This may seem limiting, but surprisingly, what's most beautiful of all is that as humans, we have the capacity to acclimate to new and unfamiliar terrain. Eventually, we grow to reap what we sow as our souls grow. Thanks so much, fam and friends, for watching this video. I just wanted to ask, what saying, motto, or quote motivates you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this helpful and you want to see more, please help this channel grow by liking and subscribing. Thanks again and have a beautiful day. See you next time. Bye.